looking cool, Basu.
It's good, YouTube. I know. We late. We in December now. I told y'all I would have a review. I wanted to wait till I had some people available to do a panel review on this because joke's on you. I recorded a video for this already because I was like, I need to get something up right now. But I like even the spirit of it. I was like, yo, I gotta get my friends in on this and kind of go over this because I know that just talking with them that they have some different views than I do about the series, and I want to get them on so we can get different angles and kind of discuss why this may or may not be good. So tonight I have on I am that Derek. You can follow him on Twitter and on Twitch, and I got my mod and my sister Momo. Oh no, it's Momo. And so I'm gonna bring them in right now and kind of let them introduce themselves. I'll give a little brief introduction and then we get into the video. Also, if you want to see more group reviews like this, I'll have if you want to be a guest and I know you, just DM me and we'll get you on and we can do more things like this on different things. We know JoJo Stone Ocean is out right now. If you guys want to do a review on that, if you guys JoJo fans, you want to do a review on that, holla at me in the DMs and we'll get something set up like this. But for now, let's get these guys over here. All right, guys, welcome in.
Hello.
So we got Momo up top and we got Derek down low in his tank top with his arms out.
Guns. Let me stop.
So if you guys want to introduce yourselves really quick and then we'll get into the Cowboy Bebop.
Ladies first.
So my name's Momo. I am Boss's sister, his mod from the very first stream. I like anime, obviously, or I wouldn't be here. Manga.
What's cooking?
You know. Yeah. I'm stoked to be here.
Awesome. Derek?
I'm that Derek. As Final Boss said, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter under I'm that Derek. I'm an anime lover, a huge Cowboy Bebop fan, and I love anime and gaming. So yeah.
All right. And I think it was very important for me to bring on individuals that actually care about Cowboy Bebop. Derek has multiple Cowboy Bebop tattoos. I've known Derek for almost 17 years. We both love Cowboy Bebop. Momo, I feel like I've known her for 17 years, even though it hasn't been that long. Knows Cowboy Bebop, loves Cowboy Bebop, and I wanted to have people that have loved and have been affected by the anime and has watched this show kind of explain their thoughts and their feelings going into it. Now, I remember saying this in my last video. I was not going to let what happened here affect the previous thing, and I just want to know like where you guys' hearts are at right now in this regard.
God. I love the show, but there were pieces of it that just irked my soul to an extent. It just they did a good job with the casting. I will say that much.
And we'll get into that, but like overall, like what was the feeling that you had overall?
Overall, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, there's stuff that we're gonna get to.
Mm-hmm.
And Boss, I know that you and I have already talked about this, and I feel like most of the stuff that bothered you bothered me too.
Yeah.
But overall, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job.
Yeah. I agree.
I feel the same way. And just like Momo said, I loved the show. I really did. And I like the originality that they came up with along the lines of that as well. So it made it its own little thing to separate itself from its other counterpart, which was perfect.
Yeah, and I think it was important to note that, first, before we get into it, it's spoilers all over this shit. We are not holding back on this shit. This is not spoiler free. If you want spoiler free, go watch an IGN video, some shit. Also, I got beef with IGN because, like, a day before this whole series came out, they had a video reviewing this fucking series, and it was 4 minutes and 49 seconds. I was heated on fucking Twitch. I was going off. I don't know. You can't sum this up. You can't sum up anything Cowboy Bebop in 4 minutes and 49
No.
seconds. I don't even think the intro is 4 minutes and 49 seconds. But that's neither here nor there. Actually, it is here and it's there, but we'll get to that. But I think the biggest takeaway or the biggest thing to take into account is that it's never going to add up or match up to the original. And I think going into it, especially if you previously watched this, you had to know that deep inside your heart, or you wouldn't be able to enjoy this at all. And
Absolutely.
I think that it differentiating itself from the anime was probably the better decision, because now you get a little bit more longevity out of it. Because what was the anime, like 26 episodes, and then it was done, and then you had like some movies off the side, but I think those are prequels, right? So it's like,
Yes.
No. There's only one movie.
I just said movies.
I just said movies. So
No,
there's one movie, the prequel, right?
No, that's actually between episode 24 and 25.
But what okay, I get you. But
Yeah.
semantics, but I'm saying nothing happens after episode 26, correct?
Correct.
No, nothing
Okay.
happens after 26.
But with the live action, I think they're gearing up to like make it different enough to where you'll get post 26 shit. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
again, that's in the future. I don't care if honestly, I wouldn't care to follow any other stories other than Spike's, but I mean, they have that option. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Already doing that
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the cast. Let's start there. Let's talk about the cast. So I've already made it very well. I already made it known that I love Jet Black's actor, man.
Absolutely.
Whoever was like Bushmaster from Luke Cage is the guy for Jet Black. I was like, yo, give him a fucking raise, because he did his thing. I don't think none of the other characters in this show, and they were all good except for one, and we'll talk about that motherfucker.
Yeah.
None of the characters in the show even compared to the performance that he did for Jet Black, and and he beats him by a mile. Like, he is the way his voice sounds, the way
His swag.
yeah.
You could tell that the actor that played him, I think his name was Ali.
Mustafa.
That's what sticks out to me. Mustafa is what sticks out to me.
You can tell that he read the manga. He watched the anime.
Mm-hmm.
He, knowing him and how good he did, he probably called the original voice actor and was like, "Hey, what do you think?" Yeah.
That's one thing that I did want to say. I was reading up on it because they were asking him, like, how did you feel with your performance? He was like, I talked to the guy himself, the voice actor himself, and he was like, he gave me blessings. He was like, I heard myself in you. As soon as I read that, I was like, he did.
We all did, dog. That's the thing.
Close your eyes and listen to this man speak.
Yeah,
He's
and you
got
don't know.
Jet.
You can't tell the difference.
Can't. I loved it. And I feel like John Cho was the best choice for Spike. I really do. You can't find... He's diverse. His portfolio is diverse. And for the fact that he could pick up being a smart ass, as well as being sarcastic, as well as being serious and funny and all this other stuff, that comes from his portfolio, especially with him doing Star Trek these past few years.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really sold me on him being Spike. I loved it. And he captured that essence. I feel like he actually went back and watched the anime and was like, okay, this is who I'm playing. I need to pick up his manners or his mannerisms in order to nail the role.
Right. And I would say, and I'm glad we started with Spike and Jet. Their relationship or their chemistry in the show was not that in the anime. Like, this chemistry that they have here is something else. And I think it was so charming that you couldn't help but like laugh at certain situations, certain conversations that they had. And I think me and Momo kind of went over that to some extent, but I'll let Momo kind of go on that a little bit.
No, I mean, essentially, after I had finished it, I told you the same thing. I hate to use this word, but the bromance between them, you don't get that in the anime. You get little quips here and there, but it's not what it was in the show, and I feel like it added so much depth to Spike, to Jet, to the relationships he has with the other characters. And I feel like it took it to another level for me.
It made their friendship believable, right?
Yes.
And
it made you think that it's an actual friendship, because I feel like in the anime, and it could just be me, but I feel like a bit of that feels more like it's a business, like a partnership, and they're not necessarily friends.
Right.
Whereas with this, they're friends. They're not only partners, but they have chemistry. There's friendship there.
Yeah. And what really sold me is like where the Dr. Landis episode, when Jet comes up in there and he's like, "What's wrong with him?" And he was like, "The computer's trying to download his consciousness. Well, can you help him?" Like the look of like sheer worry and panic and everything like that. That's what sold me on the friendship. It was like, this man cares so much about his partner. It's practically like it's his brother that's sitting on that table. You couldn't see that. And I feel like the direction that they took with this new original storyline, it opened up that avenue for that, which was perfect.
Which kind of brings me to Faye. I have gone through so many of these videos telling you, yo, I fucking hate that character. I've been in the comments talking about, yo, I hate this character. She's grating. I don't like her in the anime. I can't stand her. She was sorry in the trailer. Hey, I loved her in this, dog. I loved her in this, dog. I really love what they did with Faye. And I almost felt that I felt like I was about to hate her again when she first introduced herself, because she was when you put everything together, you could see why she was so aggressive and so nagging and so like in your face in that episode, because she was right there to getting her fucking her identity back, right? And it was like, this was a crucial part of her story, her journey. And but I think like instantly in that same episode, you got to see her have her turn, her conscious turn, where like she was more about herself and then actually, gave herself for the team. And that was one episode. That was all in the same episode. But I think this Faye, and I was telling Momo, because we've been talking about it, this Faye has given me an opportunity to actually articulate why I dislike the Faye from the anime. And I think it's not Faye herself. I think it's the writing of Faye in the Cowboy Bebop anime. Because if you think about the time when she was written and the trope that she represents, you couldn't write 2021 Faye and when Faye Valentine was written in anime and have a successful female character. And I think she's just a victim of the times as far as writing is concerned. Because especially when your main character is Spike, and he has all this shit going on around him, and you don't want a character like that, especially again written back then, kind of taking over for your character. Now in 2021, you want strong female leads. You want people to your female character to kind of stand neck to neck and boot to boot with the fellas and be able to hold their own. And they showed that in so many ways in the show, and I appreciate that a lot. Like, she doesn't need them. She was good on her own, but now that she has a team, she can get the shit done faster. You know what I mean? So I think, and honestly, the way that they depicted her, like she was out here killing them, kind of like she was out here getting them big bounties. So,
especially that episode where they had him, where Jet was off planet or off the ship with his old partner and all that stuff, and she was telling that story. I was like, "Yo," when Spike said when he said you have my utmost respect, that was like, yo, Spike would have never said that in the anime.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
No,
he would have never said that in the anime. And for him to say, yo, you have my utmost respect for that one bounty, that was enough for me. And then when he came back and he was like, you know what? This shower thing,
Yeah.
life changing. As soon as he said, he was like, now you have my utmost respect.
Yeah.
Yo, I rolled when he said that. She was like, see what I tell you? He's like, oh my God.
But even to that point, they that was the writers for the Netflix show building that a believable relationship as to why Faye belonged in the group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Her actually earning her spot in the group culture wise rather than skill set. And I think that was a big episode for her character and her kind of inseminating herself within that group. If I use the word correctly, I don't know.
True. Now
That was a wrong word. That was a wrong word. But assimilate, not in. Yo,
No, leave
yo,
it.
we on the farm. I ain't editing shit.
No, but the thing about it is though, like,
Oh, my sounds work on here. Hold on, boy.
Oh God.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The one thing that I have to say about Faye though is when she was first introduced, I felt like them writing her cussing that much, it kind of made me like, I was like, you know what? I'm starting to, I don't like her. And then as the episode started to come along, the less she cussed, the more I was like, all right, cool. The only thing that I did have a problem with was the last episode where she's in the ship and she's like, welcome to the ouch, motherfucker. I was like, really?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But she's a bounty hunter in space, man. Like, come on. I think the cussing gives her grit, and I think that's what they were going for. And I'm not here to defend nobody, but I understand. Like, I understand where you're coming from, where that's kind of unsettling. But this is a show where motherfuckers been cussing the whole entire show.
Oh, it's not the cussing part that kills me. It's just the wording. Like, if they would have said, welcome to the ouch, bitches, that would have...
It sounded out of place. I get you. It sounded out of place. It sounded like she was forcing the cuss words.
Right. Whereas if she would have added, like, bitches to it, that could have been a Faye moment.
Yeah.
That would have been labeled Faye moment.
Yeah.
And I would have been fine with that.
All right.
So,
I'm not gonna talk about Ed. It's not enough Ed. Not enough Ed to hate. Momo. Yo.
Momo.
There is.
Okay, go ahead, Momo, because I got nothing to say about Ed.
So, I mean, in theory, you're right. There's not enough for me to specifically say, wow, I hate it. But it doesn't, I don't know. Maybe I had built my hopes up too much.
Yeah.
But I feel like, how do I word it without coming across like an asshole?
Well, go ahead and say it.
That Ed isn't it. There's something about that actress, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what really did mean was the wig.
Yeah. The Ronald McDonald wig.
It's like, I mean, we have other wigs to talk about.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That, I don't know. There's just, like I said, maybe I feel like I built my hopes up or I had expectations.
Yeah.
And they could prove me wrong in the second season. I could completely change my mind.
Yeah.
But right now, it just didn't feel like Ed to me. It felt like that. I mean, because Ed is quirky and weird and like just all around crazy, radical Edward. This actor, it just felt forced to me.
Yeah, but again, to play devil's advocate, it's like 15 seconds to get a fit of characters, you know.
Yeah, you only get like a minute of Edward, so
Yeah.
like I said, I could change my mind in the second season completely. But right now, it just feels forced.
There's not much to be desired in that aspect within this couple seconds.
How the hell she find Iron?
She's radical Edward. The ship's last known location plus the dog pretty much has
They
a
dumped
neural link.
Well, yeah, they dumped the dog off, but how does she have that neural link?
But
she's a hacker. Never mind. I'm not gonna
exactly. But to Momo's point as well, my girlfriend Danny just finished the anime itself. She got to the last 5 minutes of it. I turned off the subtitles not to give anything away for her to expect anything. She sees Ed, and she hears the little laugh, the signature laugh. Okay, where I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm about to get my Ed.
The edge you expect from the anime.
Exactly. And then the next thing you know, she comes out with this weird voice, the wig's off, the whole thing just threw me off. It was not much to be desired in that respect. I feel like with her being the age that she is and things like that, a lot of people say research a character before you actually jump into that point. But hold on, because I know you're about to say something, Mike, because you like to play devil's advocate. But like Final Boss said, 15 seconds isn't enough to actually see the true potential.
It's not enough to critique here, man. If
Right.
I'm being honest. And that's why I'm like, it's whatever.
And I feel like in this aspect, it was a rush job. They were trying to get it out the door as quickly as possible, so they rushed whatever they could. Now, who's to say in the second season they fix it up? She actually does do her research and actually able to anchor herself more to this character to where she's believable as Ed, or gives us a more pleasant experience. That's for the future to hold. All I know is those last couple minutes, that her voice and her mannerism threw me all the way off. I was like, this was perfect up to this point. Can't do it.
So, Vicious?
I feel like it was good.
Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. This is where we're about to disagree. Now, we was all on the same boat, but then you said Vicious. Boy, if you don't...
Now, the only reason why I say that he was good is because I had to take myself out of the anime mind frame. Everybody put themselves there.
It's not. I'm not even talking about anime. I'm talking about him and this character in this show. That was the grading. That was a grading character for me.
Back Javier Bardem. That
God.
fucking.
My thing about it is this: they humanized him a lot. They humanized Vicious. Think about the anime. Vicious was just that. Vicious. He did not give a fuck. He was straight to the point. I will cut your head off if you do me wrong. I don't care if you go with me or against me. I'm going to do what I want to do. In this one, they had him with daddy problems.
Well, it's like his origin story for the most part, you know?
Yeah, I agree with what Boss said. I think it's more to give, because to be fair, in the anime, you don't really know a lot about Vicious other than he's vicious, he knew Spike, and he's a syndicate boss.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, they give him more of a backstory to kind of, I guess, for us, we know the anime. We know the manga.
Yeah.
For people who probably never watched any of that stuff, just jumped into this Netflix series thinking it looked cool, it gives them something else to go on. But for us, I feel like some of it was a little too much.
Yeah.
Like, they gave us more than they actually needed to.
We'll get into Julia in a second, but I think I saw there was too much Vicious and Julia going on. I did not care about neither one of them together. I didn't care about neither one of them together. Like, I think in the and again, me trying to separate it from the anime, I can't help but like think, we didn't see like Julia and Vicious were like ghosts of Spike's past, and we didn't get to see much of them. They're more like enigmas, and so to speak. But like now that I'm seeing so much of them and seeing like their relationship with each other in relations to Spike, it's like I don't give a fuck about these guys.
Pretty much. That in Julia in the anime was cold-blooded. Julia was a one-woman army. She could handle herself on her own. In this show, they made her look weak.
Yeah, but
They made her a Mary Jane.
Yeah. But like I said, we'll get to Julia. But back to Vicious, I just, I didn't care for his character development. I didn't care for it made me if both of these series, if the anime and the live action are canon, and they're if they're supposed to be 1-to-1, which they're not, but I'm saying my brain doing this, it made me dislike Vicious from the anime more. If this is what you used to be, if you used to be this fucking Anakin, fuck you. Dog. he had some he had some cool moments in the show, but I'm like, there's no way that chin will get me to care about anything you fucking doing in the show.
That's what we were talking. That's what me and Danny were talking about. We were like, they could have tried to find somebody a little bit better facially for this. Who
I
could have?
swear that
Am I
guy is
shallow? Am I
broke
shallow?
ass.
You're not shallow. You're not shallow. You know what you're looking for, and that's okay. That is okay. Because I was saying the same thing. I was like, his face is just long for no reason.
It felt longer than the wig.
Very wide faced,
If they would have made,
broad. Like when I
Mm.
see Vicious, I think of a really like tall, slim, thin. Like-
man, yeah, with
Like-
long hair, not this. I'm gonna do like a bob cut. No, like I want it on my
Yeah,
shoulders.
yeah, he did actually.
I'm not trying to clown your hair, Momo,
No, it's not
but he had your haircut,
normal hair without bangs.
right? I feel like they could have gave him a longer wig. That might have balanced everything out. To be quite honest, if the wig was a little bit longer, it might have balanced everything out.
And I know I'm
Maybe this is me
nitpicking.
just, like, I was gonna say maybe this is me just nitpicking.
Yeah.
I feel like his hair was more wispy and in his face, and it just kind of added to like his mystique
Yeah.
in the anime. So maybe I don't know, maybe they're trying to get away from that in this series. That's just a nitpick.
Yeah, I'm
I mean-
nitpicking right now. Nitpick alert. Y'all light me up in the comments. I didn't care for his wig. I didn't care for his fucking face. I didn't care for his stupid ass accent. Your accent is not stupid. It's nice, I'm sure. But for my show, no. I was constantly going in and out of immersion. Like, yo, get this motherfucker off the screen, please.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't help that he's choked Julia like early on in the show, and I'm like, yo, I really don't give a fuck about this guy. And you're not supposed to.
Like if I could say if anything, out of all the villains in the anime, I thought Vicious overall was like the biggest pain in the ass. And I was like, you know what? I was like, but I like Vicious. I don't know why. It's something about him that made me like him. And I was like, you know what? He is the perfect negative side of Spike.
But you know,
Spike is,
the thing is though, like even in that universe, we're just going in that Netflix Cowboy universe. He's not even seen as like anything. Nobody gives a fuck about him. He's a joke.
because he's a little bitch. He's a daddy. He's got daddy issues. That's all they did was they turned him from I don't give a fuck about this character to why is he even existing in this show right now?
Fucking what's her name in the was it Mao? Looked at him in the
Mao.
fuck.
He's
Man,
actually a male character in the anime.
Yeah.
man,
They completely changed the plot.
Mao looked him right in the face and spit on his shoes. Man, fuck you. Get out of my foundry, motherfucker. Like, I already gave you a guy. Like, yeah, you ain't shit. You and who else? What you got to offer? Like, she was fucking. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. They were like, I don't give a fuck about you, Vicious. Like, in no way, shape, or form do you have any of my respect. Like, from day one, when they showed the backstory with Spike and Vicious, and he was about to be a capo, dude was like, there's something rotten in him,
Yeah.
and I don't like it. When he said that, I was like, this is where the daddy...
This motherfucker hopped out the whip to whoop somebody's ass and said, "Take my girl home." What you think was gonna happen after they just danced to fucking salsa? What you
Bruh,
talking about?
Your own girl didn't even respect you, my
Bruh,
guy.
and it's like, it's Spike Spiegel, guy. Like, it is. He is that guy in this universe. Like, you don't want to send. Let's keep it funky. You don't want to send your girl, your significant other, home with Spike Spiegel alone.
That's just like saying, I'm gonna send your girl home. Send my girl home with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
He's that universe's Ryan Reynolds.
Bubble said, "I'm cool." But I don't know, man. And then like I said, Vicious was like a joke to all of them. The most sinister one was a guy that was like eating people's balls at the fucking dinner table and shit.
Bruh.
Oh, the eunuch.
Yeah.
I like
Yo.
the addition of him. It was very, very brief, obviously.
Mhm.
Spoiler, but
It
no,
made it a little
he
more
def-
dark.
He seemed like the Vicious that we know from the anime.
Right. Yeah,
Like, just cold. I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
Wrong me, and I'm gonna cut your balls off.
That little Richard Perm, boy, he was looking good at that table. Looking like a Motown greatest hits, boy. So Julia, what about Julia? Because
Okay, I'm gonna nitpick real quick.
Go ahead.
You all can...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Momo.
Was I the only one that was really bothered? The internet's gonna drag me for filth. I was really bothered by the amount of lip fillers that this actress had.
Ooh. I just
You
didn't.
you thought about it, and now you know.
I just.
I wasn't paying any attention to that part.
I
To
was.
be quite honest.
I think the actress did a good job playing the Julia that the writers of the live action wrote for her.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, like Derek has already explained, that Julia from the anime was cold. She was an independent woman and she really didn't need anybody.
Yeah.
She could take care of herself for the most part. This one, they kind of Mary Janed her a little bit, I feel.
Yeah.
And I liked the job that she did with the character that she was given, the way it was written for her.
She did a good job portraying that character. It's just that I feel like to some extent, like the writers could have been like, all right, so we need to like cut some of this stuff back. And I know as the episodes went on, the more episodes she showed up, they should have been like, all right, we need to cut some of this stuff back. Like her singing the song when she first started, that shouldn't have popped up again when she was making that deal, when Vicious was making that deal with Mal. She should have sung something different. Just like as the show went on, you hear that same song playing in the later episodes, and she's not even in there.
Yeah.
It's like a quick flashback, and you hear that song, and it makes you dread that song. On top of that, Danny was like, her voice sounded so forced when she was singing, especially in front of Mal. It sounded so forced. I was like, I didn't like that. I nitpicked hard on that shit.
I think that's the difference. She didn't want to sing, but she had to. And I think when you're in a situation like that, given the circumstances, blah 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 blah, your voice will sound crazy. Again, me playing devil's advocate, but whatever.
Yeah.
And she's acting.
Like,
she's acting, fam.
Yeah, she's acting, and I give her that. But I feel like it's the writer's responsibility also to be like, all right, they heard this song. We don't need to have this song come up ever again. It could be a quick flashback. Done. Give her something new to sing, to show what her range is, to give them something different versus swat me. Baby.
That's her signature jam, fam.
Well, let's hear the rest of it.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, sing it, baby.
We're good. I don't need to damage your viewers.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more Derek vocals.
Yeah.
I tried YouTube, sorry.
All right.
But no, other than that, I feel like the writers wrote a good Julia in a different perspective. I like how they lined it up to where she becomes colder.
Yeah.
In the end, she does. Granted, she's like the puppeteer. She used Vicious as a puppet to get what she wanted. He played right into her hands. He thought that he had all the power. And the next thing you know, he fucked up. And again, playing his part to the T, he became the little bitch.
But I don't think in the show, I don't think she meant to end up being there. I just think that was like some circumstances that just kind of landed into place. Like, I don't think she ended up meaning to be like syndicate boss for lack of better words, because that's what she is now with Vicious locked up in the basement. Spoiler alert. Fuck you. Like, I think she got there with Spike in front of Vicious, sees the love of her life, and was like, yo, you were alive all this time, shit came for me, yada yada yada, love, love, love. Why didn't you come for me? And he was like, you know what Spike said, I thought you was with him because he said you was with him. And
she was like, you believed him?
So I don't think I think that situation there that happened was an act of anger. When she shot him out of anger out of the door, out of the window, and I think the circumstances that led up to that, like the circumstances are the consequences of that, and kind of Vicious, because she shot Vicious right before that. So it's like,
Yeah.
so she shot Vicious and then she shot Spike. So now this is like the consequences of those two actions rather than her meaning to do this. This is
Right.
emotional act. This is actions taken out of emotion, and now she's here rather than her planning to do this all the time, like trying to flip the table on everybody. You know?
True. So like an act of passion, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I get you. But
Like I think she's a syndicate boss by accident because she has to be now because she fucked up. What else can she do? Her hands are tied now. She done shot Vicious, and the only reason to keep Vicious tied up is to literally keep him tied up. You thought you killed Spike. You think Spike is dead. You don't even know where he at. So it's like,
right.
what else can you do?
But the thing about it is she said this, and 100%, I agree with the logic behind this too. She was like, I could pretty much kill you, and nobody would ever know because nobody's allowed to see the elders. He's an elder. He's the only elder. So she could be the mouthpiece the entire time, and she could be just saying her own orders. Everybody's like, well, what does the elder say? I am the elder. I am the voice of the elder. The elder voiced this. This is his order. You have to do what I say.
Yeah. I just wonder why, if that was the case, and again, she did explain that. Why did she keep him? She has no need to keep him alive. If nobody ever sees the elders,
They wouldn't know whether he was dead.
Yeah.
Whether he was actually dead or alive.
There's a few people who do, but
put him out of his misery. Like, get him out of here.
True. So I don't know what they're planning on doing with that, but I guess it's like a tie of fear. Like, oh my gosh, if I do kill him and they find out, then what's going to happen? Versus if I don't kill him, I can keep him alive and then bleed him dry as time goes on.
Yeah.
So
And again, we talk about characters, but we kind of moving all over the place, and it's kind of good that we're doing that because now we don't have to backtrack to that point. So I guess moving away from characters and kind of moving away from plot and story, how did you guys feel about how the show looked and felt overall? Like the settings, like even the way like the graphics look sometimes. Like I'll start. One thing that really kept taking me out of it, or one thing that I was really, again, nitpick boss over here, fucking Jet's arm was made of some kind of leather shit. I don't know what, and it kept taking me out of it because he kept screwing at it, and I'm like, fam, you gonna need like some Murphy's oil or something because that shit not gonna work. But it's just like, man, it's just like a lot of the shit seems so futuristic but also fake at the same time. And
Right.
I think when they're trying to do that thing where like, Fallout does, or any kind of like post-apocalyptic thing does, where no matter how much in the future, there's always callbacks to like the past, or like
Right.
the 30s, 40s, and 50s, or in this case like the 90s with the cassette tapes and shit.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, most of the vehicles that you see driving around are 40s and 50s, like old cars.
Right.
Right.
Cars.
Right. And I feel like the reason why they did that was to keep it in the same aspect of, again, the anime came out in 98. So there wasn't really much that they could actually do as far as, oh, we could come up with this futuristic car and make it look futuristic. Whereas, okay, show came out in 98. We're going to say that it's in 2047, but we're going to keep the cars looking the same. They could be using something completely different. That I felt was aesthetically pleasing because it mixed past or future with the past. Perfect.
And I think there's something to that because, like I said, all these post-apocalyptic settings. Again, I reference Fallout, and I reference even what's that game, Alien Isolation. They kind of call back to things from the past while being centuries into the future. And I think that combination of like that kind of past versus future mixes, even they get like BioShock, where you got like kind of like the Art Deco shit, like that shit works because it gives you like I don't know what about the past also seems futuristic. I don't know, and I'm having a hard time explaining it, but like Momo was saying, you see in cars from like the 40s and shit like in this, and like these are like the nice cars and shit. Like I don't know, but like I'm just thinking like overall how it was presented. It kind of looked kind of plasticky, you know what I mean? Everything kind of looked fake. It didn't look like, And I know it's like CG or whatever, and they like working with a certain budget, but everything just like, I don't know. There was like, you know, when you eat something and there's like a film on the roof of your mouth. That feeling is how this show felt as I was watching it.
Really?
Well, yeah. Granted, now again, like you said, boss, they're working with some kind of budget. So we'll just say season 1 was the test run. See how popular it gets. If it's really popular, then we're going to increase your budget. That's how some shows work. So who's to say, like, the next season, they up the production costs and things along those lines, and we get something 10 times better. Like we said with Ed, the wig and everything like that, that was a rush order. We got to get it out so that way people can stop asking questions, introduce her. Now we have a whole nother season that we can work with, improve those things, and just keep it pushing. That way it's more aesthetically pleasing visually. We have casts that are more, veteran to this stuff, and they've already got that established relationship. Perfect. I feel like the props and things that they used, some of them we could have done without. I feel like when they brought back Faye's VHS tape,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I get it. It's kind of hard to find a VCR now. And then for them to have one in the future, I was like, damn, they must have dug that up. But how they jerry-rigged it and all that stuff, I was like, you know what? That is some shit that they would do. Like, we would, if I ain't got the ports for it, I'm going to find the pieces for it. I'm going to rig it all together, duct tape and everything, just like the ship when he had the mechanic on there. It's literally held up by duct tape and chewing gum.
Yeah.
I liked it. It gave it its authenticity in that regard.
I would say, like, I don't know. I'm speaking more so not like the actual machines themselves. I'm talking about like the actual aesthetic, like the style they chose to go with, rather.
I like it.
Yeah, that's fair.
For the most part, I think I do too. The first session where they're in New Tijuana, that to me looked great.
Okay.
You don't
Yes.
get very much, obviously, in the anime because it's a limited budget. It's all the hand drawn. It's done by a studio. They may not have had the budget that Netflix has.
Yeah.
Not to
Right.
mention, obviously you get quite a bit more on film in an actual 3D setting than you would on paper in the anime or in the manga.
Yeah.
Right.
But to me, just the vibrancy was just enough,
Yeah.
and just it made you feel like post-apocalyptic New Tijuana. Like it
Yeah.
felt like it had that Mexico vibe, but you could see the futuristic stuff too. Like it just felt right to me.
Right.
The way they did it, the way they built the set, the colors, just the way they made, everybody moved through the set. To me, it was perfect.
Yeah.
I can't say that for every other episode because I'm sure, we could nitpick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was a good testament to they did some research,
Mm-hmm.
they took a few, liberties, and they made it work.
Yeah.
So
I could sit. Go ahead, boss.
So I don't think it was anything enough to kind of take me out of the show, but I think with the exception of Jet's arm, like that shit kind of bothered me. But I think it was like, I don't know. I just think everything looked kind of like, I don't know, man. I think they were trying to do like in my brain, I feel like they tried to have like a filter over it, so to speak, to kind of make it look more anime-ish while it wasn't. You know what I mean? And I think that film that I'm talking about, like that I described earlier, that analogy that I use, is what I'm seeing, and I just don't know how to describe it properly. But I don't think it was enough to keep me out of the show per se. Again, outside of Jet's arm.
What else are the Jets on?
But so we have the 45-minute mark.
Yeah.
What direction you think we should go?
Let's talk about that ugly plot twist at the end.
Yeah, let's talk about the end. Start us out, Momo, since you got the face.
Okay, let me preface it by saying that, boss, you and I already talked about this. We knew there was going to be a second season.
Yeah.
We already knew that. I don't know what I expected. I guess in my mind, I knew kind of based on where I was throughout the first season, I knew that they were coming to the end. I didn't know how it was going to end. I think what really kind of got me was the last 10 minutes, where everything is a clusterfuck. Everything comes to a head. Julia shoots Vicious. Then she shoots Spike. Then we get Greenbird.
Yeah.
A+. You know, Spike hates... You know, Jet hates Spike. Faye leaves. All of this shit happens. And then now all of a sudden Julia's going to be a syndicate boss.
Yeah.
I don't know what I expected. It wasn't that.
Yeah, most definitely.
In my mind, the second season was mostly going to be them pulling from the older source material.
Yeah.
They could have pulled stuff from the manga that wasn't in the anime. They could have pulled, you know, there were so many episodes from the anime that, in theory, we could call them filler episodes, because there were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were many episodes in Cowboy Bebop in the anime that didn't cover anything story-wise. But the last 10 minutes of that session pissed me. I don't want to say pissed me off, just left me with a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
And
100%.
I was talking to when me and Momo was talking about it. I felt like, again, with the knowledge of knowing like there's gonna be another season, and two, that I think the way that they've written these characters, and the way that Faye left Jet on good terms and knows that, like, you know, Jet's a good guy. I'll come back after I do what I got to do. And just knowing that Jet is genuinely a good guy in the show, they've shown him being fatherly. They've shown him be forgiving. They've shown him like kind of like be understanding in that regard. I think that this Jet, Netflix Jet, is going to find a way to forgive Spike, and it's gonna come to a head, and that's gonna be the thing that kind of pushes the team forward in season 2. And
Yeah.
I think Jet will find a way to understand why Spike kind of kept that a secret. Just because that's the type of person that Jet is that we've known for these episodes here. That's the character they built him up to be. He went back and, you know, he was able to make amends with with Chalmers. You know what I mean? And he wanted to kill this motherfucker for like 6-7 episodes.
Yep.
Now they doing the Cabbage Patch in the back of his daughter's show together.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kill you yesterday. Like, that's type, like, so it's like, I think that will be like the main motivating factor with this Julia syndicate shit in the background. But I think I didn't care for the ending at all. Kind of like to Momo's sentiment, I didn't care for it at all. But I also knew, like, I didn't know what to expect. I don't know what I was expecting, especially when Spike didn't have that pink jacket on. If Spike got the pink jacket on, I know we season 2 coming. Like, season 2, like, it's coming. Something else coming. If he got that pink puffy jacket on, man, we all right.
Like, I was telling Danny, I was like, pretty much, like, the whole Ballad of the Fallen Angels, pretty much what we got. I was like, yo, this would have been perfect if it had one thing. She was like, what's that? The coat. Give him his brown trench coat. I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
The way that it ended, like Momo said, it already set the expectation for season 2. There's more to come. That ending, it could have gone differently. I don't know how it could have gone differently, but I know it could have went differently than what it did. That's just setting it up to where it could boil down to a bunch of other theories. I'm not going to get into that because I know you're on a time limit. But anyways, Spike, Faye, Ein, all of them just dispersing and leaving Jet to himself. Like, I felt like that was like, honestly, Jet is the glue that keeps everything together.
Right.
And when they all dispersed, it was like Jet's now by himself.
And that's important with what you said, because he is the glue that keeps this team together. And it was when he felt defeated or out of it that is when the team broke down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he lost Kimmy, so to speak. When he lost Kimmy after he saved her, and like it was a situation where they didn't even talk to him. They just took the baby back and left. Like, his heart is out of his chest right now. He's not Jet anymore right now. So it's like when he's not right, I don't think the team will be right.
Right. And when Kimmy ran up to Chalmers and said, "Daddy, I want to go home," that
You
ripped my
did.
heart out.
Face.
I wanted to give this man a hug. Like, that's how deep that was.
Well, she also just witnessed like 60 people dying right in front of her.
True.
True. But even still, would you see your own child sit up there and call another dude, Daddy, I want to go home?
Not to mention a dude that 3 days prior, you hated that dude. You wanted to kill that guy.
Yeah. That right there just said, that overall said, you just lost the one thing that you cherish the most.
Yeah.
And I feel like with him being that way, that's going to turn him cold. And in season 2, we're going to probably get some, like, you know, one episode where it's going to show how he did his bounty hunting by himself.
Probably. I would agree with that.
And then we're going to see the first person that's going to show back up is Faye.
Yeah.
And then by some weird coincidence, we're going to see Spike come back into the picture, and Ed's going to be with him along with Ein.
Yeah.
That's how I see it playing out.
Yeah. Because he's still getting his intel from Radical Ed, Jet. So it's like,
Right.
their paths are going to cross eventually.
Yep. Yep.
Anything, as we close out, anything that you would change? And I know we missed some things, but again, we already at the 50-minute mark for this video alone. So I don't want to keep y'all too long as like the viewers and my guests here. Excuse me. But there were some scenes and some Easter eggs in that. This whole video's on Easter eggs. Momo even previewed me to an Easter egg when Fishes killed all the elders. She previewed me to one of those. Check for the scar on his wrist. Watch it again. Check for the scar on his wrist. On his top of his hand. But is there anything, if you could change one thing about this show, what would it be?
Matt Piro's costume.
Really? That didn't bother me. Kinda
He
like
could have wore a fat suit. If they put him in the gravity boots, he still could have wore a fat suit.
Who's?
I'm not really super bothered by that.
Who'd you say?
Matt Piro.
Oh,
Matt
yeah,
Piero. Yeah, thank you.
I don't care.
I think right now, basically, obviously, the things that we touched on and the things that we talked about, I doubt they're going to change the actor that plays Vicious out.
Yeah.
They may. I mean, weirder things have happened, but I highly doubt that. I really like it overall.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch the second season, even with like the weird plot twists and the little nitpicky things that we've talked about. I'd really like to see them do the Heavy Metal Queen episode because that's my favorite episode.
I'm with you on that one.
I love that episode so
I'm with
much.
you on that one.
I did like, and I don't know if, just real quick, like another Easter egg, the episode that you were talking about, Derek, where Faye and Spike are basically like trading bounty hunter stories, and they start to respect each other more. They have the show on in the background, and they have the name Terpsichore that comes across.
Yes.
I don't know, like some people, I had to pause it and point it out to my husband, like, hey, did you see that? So I'm wondering if maybe that's the only thing we're going to get, and they're not really going to touch on it, but I don't know.
Just
That's
like
not-
Cowboy Andy.
Yeah. I really liked Heavy Metal Queen is probably one of my favorite episodes, so I hope they kind of pull from some of the other episodes that they didn't use this season.
Yeah.
How about you, boss?
The only thing that I don't know, I'm kind of in the wheelhouse is like if I change anything, I'm gonna hate it. It's right on the ledge of like me liking and hating it. So like if I change any one thing, I think it'll push it to like, yo, fuck this show. But if I had to pick something to change about this show, I said it earlier, less Julia and Vicious. I don't give a fuck about their relationship.
Okay. I mean,
I could
I'll
agree
be
with
wagging
that.
with you on that. I don't.
like
I could use less of the relationship.
less of that, more about Spike's past, because that episode where you saw Spike being fearless gives you, because we didn't get that in the anime. We don't get fearless in the anime, and that was like a joy to have. Like, let's see more of that. Jet's past comes up. We gonna get Faye's past in season 2. We know that for sure.
Right.
But I would like to see more fearless shit. That is not the only mission that they went on. You know what I mean?
No.
And that was like
Boss, you and I talked about the fact that Spike had weird eyes, and we touched on that.
Yeah.
Contacts, but they flash back to things where he's his body is modified and things are done to him in the anime that they haven't even begun to touch on in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've got to explain how the fuck he survived that fall, one, in both occasions, and not die.
And being shot multiple upon multiple times.
Exactly.
They did flash back to that in the show. Like, it was like a split second, and it never came up again. And I think it was that episode when he yanked the drawer out. Am I tripping? Where, like, am I getting the anime and the show mixed up?
Yeah, you are.
I think so.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, viewers at home. Like, comment, subscribe for me to fuck up more. Anyway, we're gonna close out this video. If there's anything that you guys liked about the show, or anything that you guys wanted to change about the show, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll fucking comment to all y'all motherfuckers. Thank you, Momo. Thank you, Derek, for being on for this. Hope to have you guys on in the future. I know I will. Momo. Everybody, you know what? Hey, let's give some applause for Momo being on camera. Yeah. She didn't want to do this, but hey, she did it for her brother. Derek, pleasure as usual. We're going to get out of here. We're going to have some fun on stream tonight. Again, I stream every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday night at 10 p.m. Central Time over on twitch.tv/FinalBossVersus. That's FinalBossVS. And come have fun with us. Saturdays, we usually play community games. I'll be honest with you, it's probably going to be Smash.
I'm in.
But yeah, join us. Hope to see you then. Hope you enjoyed this video, this long ass video. If you made it to this point, you're a goddamn champion. I'm not editing shit. I'm gonna put an intro on this motherfucker, and I'm gonna put an outro on this bitch. Love you. Bye.
Yeah.